It's one of the biggest showcases for Las Vegas, a spectacular sight and sounds of thousands of runners as they made their way up and down the Strip and across the city for the annual Zappos.com Rock and Roll Marathon and Half Marathon.
Now, Nevada's first choice for news. This is Channel 8 News Now, Weekend Edition.
Hello, thanks for being with us tonight. It's as much as a social entertainment function as it is a running event. Some 32,000 people participated in the marathon and the half marathon. It's one of the biggest nighttime running events anywhere in the world and a big fundraiser for the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. 8 News Now reporter Cassandra Garcia, she starts our coverage on this tonight. Cassandra.
Well, hi, Chris. The Strip is back open, as you can see behind me, after being closed from Mandalay Bay through downtown. You know, the Rock and Roll Marathon is more than just a competition for runners, though. Thousands come into Las Vegas to spend money and make a weekend out of it. And runners we spoke to today say the night event is one of a kind.
Go! 1, 2, 13 weeks of training led you to today.
Minutes before the half marathon, this sea of runners were squeezing in some last-second preps.
We just want to get the blood flowing, get everybody's joints nice and loose, those muscles nice and flexible, so that when they get to the race start, they're ready to go.
For some, the secret to crossing the finish line is a proper stretch. For others, it's all in the outfit.
Well, this is our first half marathon, so we thought it'd be so great to just go big. In Vegas.
And what would a Vegas run be without crossing paths with Elvis?
And does it kind of hinder like what you're trying to do?
No, it's a running outfit. It's made for this.
Even down to the shoes, runners didn't seem to overlook any detail.
It's a new type of elastic shoelace. They're called cinch bands.
Eddie Cox is testing out his new product after his wife had a problem with her laces while running.
She's like, hey, I don't like my shoes always come untied when I'm running. Can I put them in my running shoes? I'm like, sure. Let's test it out.
Go, guys, go!
Like Eddie, thousands of others showed up to show support for individuals or for a cause.
Go, Canada!
When I signed up for the race, I didn't know I was expecting, and then when I found out, I decided that if these kids can battle feeling sick and tired every day, then certainly so could I. So I'm running for kids with cancer.
And in the end, they all ran with a goal in mind, big and small.
Our biggest goal is to beat the dragon, because then we get free lettuce wraps.
And you know, the fun doesn't end just because the race is over. The Palazzo and also Planet Hollywood are hosting after parties for everyone that wants to continue the event Las Vegas style. Reporting live from the Strip, Cassandra Garcia, 8 News Now.
All right, Cassandra, only in Las Vegas could the after parties continue after full marathon. Well, everyone who finishes the marathon or the half marathon, they're a winner, but there is a competitive element for some of the runners. Scott Bemis joins us now with the recap of the race and also who got the top spots.
And there's money up for grabs as well. Yeah, $1,000 going to the winner in each class. And it was difficult for the leading runners tonight because the final stretch was straight into a pretty brisk wind. All right, here's who ended up getting the glory. In the full marathon, the older set taught the younger generation a little lesson. 36-year-old Jonathan Dambuki got out front early. He held on till the end. He continues the African country of Kenya's long-standing tradition of distance running. Now on the women's side, it was a 42-year-old who came home first. Nuda Aluru won in 2 hours, 51 minutes, and 31 seconds.
It was very tough because I had to keep myself in balance. So I was fighting the wind and it was tough. The wind was very tough, but the course is very nice.
I'm happy because I won and this is my dream. And I like Las Vegas. I like this competition because last part it's in dark.
Pretty much sums it up, right? Well, in the half marathon, there was an all-out sprint to the finish line as England's Craig Hopkins outran Kenya's Francis Mandu in the closing mile. And on the women's side, Brady Hutchinson of Pocatello, Idaho, came home first in her first half marathon.
It's really cool, it's really loud and gives you energy to keep going. The crowd are great and it's fun event.
It was awesome. I was not expecting to win it, and yeah, it was fun besides getting sick, but it happens.
You heard her. Brady got a little sick after crossing the finish line, but recovered quickly. Somehow that $1,000 will help a little bit. The half marathon winner does get that grand for their efforts as well, Chris. So fun night all around.
Absolutely.
And a good competition within the fun party.
Absolutely. And you know what, though? It's more than just $1,000. It's bragging rights.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean,
I said that Brady Hutchison, I covered her in Pocatello, Idaho, and I believe that name sounds familiar when I was in Idaho.
She came just for the run, she said, for the fun of it, and she ends up winning.
That's pretty cool.
Thanks a lot, Scott. It wasn't like winning the Powerball drawing, but 10 lucky runners, they got a nice gift after finishing their marathon or the half marathon. Everyone got a medal, but 10 random people, they got gold medals. Those medals were worth $1,000, the same amount that the winners did receive. So whoever those lucky folks were, congratulations to them. And it wasn't the best weather for runners tonight, though. Temperatures, they were pleasant, but the winds, brutal at times. Scott, you and I were out there. You know how bad it was. The National Weather Service put Las Vegas under a wind advisory until 10 o'clock tonight. Marathoners contended with sustained winds between 20 to 30 miles per hour. Gusts were as strong as 40 miles per hour in some places. The people we talked to say it was fun as long as you were running with the wind, which was the case for the first half of the course.
It felt great through about 15 miles, and it was just like getting punched in the face. And it was just it was a boxing match that last 8 miles, just left, right, and it was everything I had to put one foot in front of the next.
I'm a sailboat in the wind on the way out. It was like floating. If this was a point-to-point course, oh, records would have been broken, but I'm a sailboat on the way back. It was just like running through quicksand. I just fought.
From punched in the gut to being a sailboat. It's interesting. The wind seemed to have died down to below 15 miles per hour tonight, but still pretty breezy out there. We're going to have your full forecast a bit later on in this newscast. We all know Las Vegas, it's known for quick weddings, and since the goal of the marathon and the half marathon is to run as quickly as possible,
I now pronounce you as husband and wife. Grooms, you may kiss your bride.
the run-through wedding has become a tradition now. At least 70 couples took a break from their runs to become husband and wife or renew their vows. The ceremony wasn't long, about 4 minutes.
We're coming up on 10 years. We wanted to do the half marathon, and we thought it'd be fun to do the run-through renewal.
Very special and beautiful.
Dressed as Elvis, why not? Another couple that was renewing their vows were Dan and Phyllis Kahn from Seattle, who just celebrated their 50th anniversary, and they're wearing some orange shirts, their team challenge. That team is about what this marathon was raising money for. Their team in particular, they raised $5,000 for Crohn's disease research. 3 of their grandkids have Crohn's. There were a number of late entries to the Zappos Las Vegas Rock and Roll Marathon and the Half Marathon. When the New York City Marathon was canceled because of Superstorm Sandy, event organizers offered a registration deal if runners wanted to participate here.
Yeah, it was really heartbreaking in New York. I was there for about 2 hours and they canceled it, but I can definitely understand why. It was a tough situation out there.
And that's Adrienne Neal. Her trip to Las Vegas, she says it was worth it. She finished second in the full marathon and took home a few $100s. Adrienne just registered for the race on Thursday. A few big names were among the 30,000 runners here in Las Vegas. Aside from the big-name athletes, Zappos not only sponsored this race, but the company's CEO, Tony Hsieh himself, he ran the marathon. Some celebrities also laced up their running shoes and hit the pavement, including actress Nicole Sullivan of Mad TV in Cougar Town, Twilight actress Nikki Reed and her husband, American Idol singer Paul McDonald as well.
This was something we wanted to do together. We wanted to run together. I like what it stands for. I like that it's supporting Crohn's and colitis, and the rock and roll aspect. I mean, it's all really cool.
We're doing this together, you know. This is cool. I'm a musician, so it's fun to do the the rock and roll aspect. You know, kind of brought me along. It's cool.
We're told Sean Lowe from The Bachelor was also a part of this mega race. This event is also one of the biggest fundraisers for the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America. Crohn's disease is often a very painful and chronic inflammatory condition on the gastrointestinal tract. There's no cure. It can only be controlled. Upwards of 700 people in the U.S. suffer from it, 700,000 that is. This year's race raised more than $4 million for research. The marathon has raised $14 million through the years. A local group struggling to meet the holiday need for the foster kids it helps situation, and the court-appointed special advocate says it's facing if it doesn't get some help in the next few days. Plus, dealing with a difficult situation. Emotional day as the Kansas City Chiefs and their fans returned to the stadium, where a player took his life after killing his girlfriend.
This portion of 8 News Now is brought to you by Lexus.
It's been an emotional weekend in the NFL. The game did carry on in Kansas City as they're dealing with some troubling time there. Before kickoff, the crowd was asked to observe a moment of silence for victims of domestic violence and their families. Saturday, Chiefs player Jovan Belcher killed his 22-year-old girlfriend, Cassandra Perkins, before driving to the team's practice facility and shooting himself. Chiefs coach Romeo Crennel was one of the people who saw Belcher kill himself.
So we're grieving for all involved. It's tough when circumstances happen. You can't undo them. And so you have to rely on each other, rely on your family, your friends, and rely on your faith. And that's what the team tried to do today.
Coach refused to answer any questions about Belcher's suicide, just saying it was not a pretty sight. Police released no new information today. Friends say Belcher and Perkins had recently separated, then they got back together. They did have a 3-month-old daughter. The church at the U.S. Military Academy at West Point has hosted its first same-sex wedding. Penelope Nesson and Brenda Sue Fulton, a West Point grad, exchanged vows in a Saturday afternoon ceremony attended by about 250 people. The couple have been together for 17 years and had long hoped to formally tie the knot. New York legalized same-sex marriage last year, just months before President Obama lifted the policy prohibiting openly gay people from serving in the military. Special night in Washington as 7 artists and entertainers were honored for their work. President Obama hosted the Kennedy Center honorees. Late night talk show hosts David Letterman, actor Dustin Hoffman, rock band Led Zeppelin, bluesman Buddy Guy, and ballerina Natalia Makarova received the prestigious honors. The awards show will air the day after Christmas right here on Channel 8. The weather system known as the Pineapple Express, it's finally letting up. The damage caused by this 3rd round of storms and why it wasn't as bad as many expected. Plus, after a very windy evening, it's calming down a bit here in southern Nevada. Your neighborhood weather forecast is coming right up with Brian Brennan. Also, some fantastic finishes in the NFL this Sunday. Who got lucky in Week 13 of the season?
Watching 8 News Now Weekend Edition with Chris Saldaña. The news for Southern Nevada is now.
CASA volunteers say things aren't going so well for their Angel Tree Toy Drive. The organization, which stands for Court-Appointed Special Advocates, helps foster kids. About 30 volunteers showed up to wrap gifts donated for them today, but they say there wasn't much to wrap. The drive ends Tuesday morning, and volunteers say they are short about 800 gifts of their goal.
Now, I just can't go into those doors knowing that we don't have enough. So I'm just begging the community, to really give, to, reach deep and down, and that these are really our community's most vulnerable children, and they really need your help right now.
Organizer Pamela Bell says one reason for the low amount of donations is they've lost several major sponsors. Tomorrow starts the annual Toys for Tots Drive. You recognize that music? The effort to help less fortunate kids was started by the Marine Corps Reserves back in 1947. 8 News Now, Papa John's, Henderson Hyundai Superstore, Peters & Associates, and ESPN Radio 1100 are proud sponsors of this year's Toys for Tots. It runs through December 13th. People who live in Northern California and Northern Nevada, they endured a 3rd round of some rain and strong winds from the Pineapple Express weather system. But because it moved so quickly, it appears that damage was not as bad as expected. Still, some areas saw as much as an inch of rain per hour, toppling trees and knocking out power to thousands of people. Up at Lake Tahoe, the rain has turned to snow. One of the biggest flooding fears is along the Napa River.
You never know with this river, it's kind of iffy. Sometimes you think it's going to go over and it won't, and sometimes you don't and it's going to go over. So want to take as much precaution as you can around here, especially.
The weather has caused numerous flight delays up and down the West Coast, but there's drier weather in the forecast for the first part of the week. This weekend, Nevada Governor Brian Sandoval toured sandbag pickup locations as officials and also residents prepared for the powerful storm there. The National Weather Service had issued a flood warning for the length of the Truckee River. Truckee flows more than 100 miles. Brian Brennan in this weekend for Tedd Florendo to let us know, do we need the Aquanet for tomorrow?
It's a gorgeous night right now. I mean, people could have done the marathon right now. Let's start it over.
Let's
pick it up, right? No, people are enjoying the roads being open now. You can take a look outside and see it is a little bit breezy. Man, that flag was going in the wind quite a bit earlier today. But right now, a bit calmer. Let's take a look at the winds as we see it right now. 2 miles per hour over at East Flamingo. Not too bad. Red Rock, 3 miles per hour all the way over there. It was 60-something miles per hour winds in the mountains today at some points of the day. So it's looking much nicer, much calmer, below 15. We still see about 10 miles per hour at South Durango 11. It just popped back up a little bit. So still a little breezy, and we could see some gusts, but not too bad. Let's take a look at the temperatures right now in the low 60s for the most part. 59 over at Jones and Smoke Ranch, 62 over at East Washington, 50 over at Beatty, Indian Springs, 51, Moapa, 60. So not looking too bad in the low 60s right now. Right now, or for the highs for the day, 73 degrees over at West Charleston, 74 at East Flamingo. So reaching up all the way into the mid 70s for the most part. So let's see if those winds will be sticking around. They're not. They're coming back down. You see over the next couple days, Monday into Tuesday, in that 5 mile per hour range, just below 10 miles over at Mount Charleston, but for the most part in the single digits. Very nice temperatures throughout Las Vegas today. 70 degrees over in Las Vegas, 75 in Phoenix. We go over to the East Coast, 49 in New York, and a lot of New Yorkers came over to Las Vegas. We were happy to have them after they got their marathon canceled. We do see some systems here. California getting hammered by some heavy rain. We might see some rain in North Nevada, but as far as Las Vegas goes, going to stay relatively dry. We do see some green there popping up, some moisture up in the higher elevations, but not too much rain in the forecast for Las Vegas. Mount Charleston, that's where I would like to go. I haven't been snowboarding in a little bit. There is snow up there, I'm told. There's snow, a little bit of wind. It's some fake snow, but it's still, you can board on it. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, 66 degrees. Let's take a look at your 7-day forecast. So some light winds over the next couple of days. We're seeing high 60s to low 70s for the rest of the week. So very nice. We got through the gusty conditions. Still might gust above that 15 mile per hour, so keep an eye on that. But for the most part, very nice.
All right, thanks a lot, Brian. Scott joins us now. We had NFL. We had the bowl situation finally ironed out. And what else do we have?
You pretty much covered it right
there. Did I cover it all? All right.
Hey, if you're watching NFL games this afternoon, you're on the edge of your seat. A couple terrific finishes on the way. Plus, going bowling in the Valley. Chris mentioned it. Find out which two teams will be squaring off later this month in the Mako Bowl, Las Vegas. And homecoming in jeopardy, how an injury could force Mike Moser to miss a game he's been waiting a while for. Sports is next.
From 8 News Now, sports with Scott Bemis.
Hey there, everybody. We start a busy Sunday of sports with Week 13 in the NFL. In Baltimore, how about 37-year-old Charlie Batch leading the Steelers back in the fourth quarter, getting some love from Big Ben after tying things at 20 with that TD. Then late in this one, Batch moves Pittsburgh into field goal territory. Sean Schweitzum wins it with the 42-yarder. Batch very emotional as the Steelers keep their slim chances alive of winning the division. They're now 2 games back of Baltimore. Seahawks and Bears from Chicago. Russell Wilson threw for 293, ran for 71, connects with Golden Tate to give him a 3-point lead late. Nice effort, Golden. Then the Bears get a tying field goal at the end of regulation, but in OT, it's Wilson to Sidney Rice. Gets across the goal line for the game winner. Seattle would be in the playoffs as a wild card if the season ended today. Seattle's division rival San Fran again turning to Colin Kaepernick today against the Rams, up 10-2 late in the fourth. The former Reno star makes a big mistake. The pitch gets away. Rams get the touchdown and the 2-pointer to tie it at 10. Then rookie Greg Zuerlein takes over. 2 clutch kicks from over 50 at the end of regulation and overtime. Rams win it 16-13. How about those Colts in Detroit? Indy down 3. Excuse me, they're down 12 with under 3 minutes left. When Andrew Luck finds Levon Brazil, they're within 5. Defense forces a punt, comes down to this. Last play of the game, Luck flips one to Donnie Avery. Is he going to get in? Oh, yeah, he's going to get in. It's the Colts. 35-33. They're now 8-4. They control the AFC wildcard race. Chargers, though, pretty much assuring themselves a spot on the couch come playoff time after letting another one slip away today against the Bengals. Andy Dalton giving Cincinnati the lead with his 6-yard TD with about 4 minutes left. Chargers are driving late, but Phillip Rivers gets intercepted. Bengals are now 7-5. They're tied for the second wild card. Bolts fall to 4-8 on the year. Other scores, Patriots and Broncos both clinch their divisions. Greg McElroy relieves an ineffective Mark Sanchez, does just enough for the Jets, while the Cowboys get back to 500. Bills, Packers, Texans also gets wins, as do the Chiefs a day after the tragedy involving Javon Belcher. Browns end a 12-game road skid in Oakland, And with an eye on the future now, here's Art Manteris, VP of Race and Sports for Station Casinos.
Hey, Scott, some good games next weekend. Sunday night, the Hard Luck Lions are at Green Bay. I like the Packers by a touchdown. Monday night has the Texans and Patriots meeting in New England. The Patriots will open as 5-point favorites at Station Casino Sportsbooks. And Scott, in that big college football championship game, January 7th in Miami, we opened Alabama as an 8.5-point favorite over Notre Dame. Now here's your first look at next week's early Las Vegas numbers.
Well, you heard Art mention it. It's official. The final BCS standings were released tonight. And as expected, Notre Dame and Alabama will meet in Miami for the national title. Here's a look at all the BCS Bowl matchups. Best of the bunch is Kansas State and Oregon in the Fiesta Bowl. And the team crashing the party is Northern Illinois out of the MAC. The Huskies got the automatic bid after finishing in the top 16 in the final BCS standings and ranking ahead of two automatic qualifying conference champions, Louisville and Wisconsin. Well, after the BCS Bowls were announced, the Mako Bowl Las Vegas could officially release its matchup. Co-Mountain West champion Boise State will be coming to the Valley for a third straight year, taking on 7-5 Washington out of the Pac-12. Remember, start time of the game this year has been moved to 12:30 in the afternoon. Sunday night hoops at Staples Center. Lakers trying to get over 500 against Dwight Howard's former team. LA would love to see more of this. Kobe to Howard for the jam. Big man had 21 and 15, but missed 12 of his 21 free throws. Lakers took a lead into the fourth, but couldn't make it hold up. Jameer Nelson knocking down a couple from long range. Magic scored 40 as a team in the fourth, handing the Lakers another loss. Lakes now 3-4 under Mike D'Antoni. College now, and it's finally time for the Runnin' Rebs to hit the road as they will play away for the Thomas & Mack for the first time this year, Tuesday at Portland. Up in the air a little bit is the status of this guy, Mike Moser, who tweaked his groin late in yesterday's win over Hawaii. Count on the training staff doing everything they can to get Moser ready, considering this is a homecoming for the junior forward.
One of the things that we do with all the guys in our program is during the time they're at UNLV, we want to play a game somewhere in the vicinity of where they're from. We set up this game because Mike Moser's from Portland, and so certainly with his health, we hope he's able to play. He's expecting to have over 100 family and friends that'll be there.
Well, Moser sat out the final 7 minutes yesterday, nursing the injury. Didn't practice today either. Of course, just a reminder, much more with Coach Rice on UNLV Game Time immediately following this newscast. We'll go in depth about the Rebels' 2 wins this week. Look ahead to what's up next for the Runnin' Rebs. Good time of year, you know. You got UNLV basketball hitting the road for the first time. We'll see how they perform away from home.
Bowl games ready for watching.
You gonna get in a bowl pool?
I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. Salvation Army bell ringers are spread out all across shopping malls this time of year, but this bell ringer is different from the rest. Special surprise he offers to shoppers in an unlikely spot.
This portion of 8 News Now is brought to you by the new Station Casinos boarding pass.
Holiday season, it is here, and it means the Salvation Army red kettles are out with the bell ringers meeting and greeting shoppers. Have you seen them out?
Not yet.
Not yet?
But I used to ring the bell.
No, you did not.
Second mention of my time in Idaho. Yeah, I've done it a couple times.
So Scott used to ring the bell, but check out this guy who rings the bell.
Come on, ring those bells.
Yeah, just ringing the bell didn't seem enough at a supermarket entrance for Dave Farmer. 3 years ago, he discovered the fine acoustics the hall had at the entrance there, so he started singing, and it stuck. Dave enjoys it so much, and so do the people in Idaho.
About 5.5 hours a day. Last year, I sang almost 6.5 hours a day, and that was 5 days a week.
This is going on in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Is that how you say? You used to work there, right?
Coeur d'Alene,
Did I get it?
Yes,
all right.
You got it. You nailed it.
Well, you just noticed there that Dave keeps butterscotch candy on hand to coat his throat while he's singing.
5 hours of singing.
What did you use? You didn't sing, though. You just rang the bell.
Sing, but it was cold because we were in Idaho Falls, Idaho, ringing the bell. And a great way to meet the community.
And stay warm.
Yes.
That is it for us. Thanks for making us a part of your weekend. Have a great week.